into Sports with Steve. We're up to episode 10. We've done 10 episodes of Sports with Steve. All of them have been fun except for the first one. That one sucked. But after the first one, Scott decided to join us, and Mike decided to join us. Mike's down in Iowa. Technically, he hasn't really done anything, but we like to make him think that he's special. Today we have a full show. Big reports coming out this week. We have the Ted Wells report on Incognito and Martin in Miami. We have Derek Jeter announcing his retirement. We have a new NFL rule that might be going into effect. Darren Sharper and rape, and Jadeveon Clowney. And all of those topics are congruous and go together. We also have a few questions that came in through our email, and I have not looked at them. Scott is in charge of that. He has those questions ready for us. And so when we get to those will be purely off the top of my head. I don't know what those questions are. So we'll start off with Derek Jeter announcing his retirement. And at the end of this baseball season, Derek Jeter, the captain of the New York Yankees, will no longer be playing. It will be the end of his 20th season in the MLB, which is pretty dang incredible. And as a Red Sox enthusiast growing up, Derek Jeter's been there forever. He won 5 World Series rings, including the 1996 World Series when he was a rookie. He's just been an incredible player. He epitomizes what the MLB is all about. Him and Mariano Rivera, the only 2 Yankees that I think any Red Sox player would like. You hate him because they're in pinstripes, and you also hate him because they were so dang good. Derek Jeter only played in 17 games last season. He's been injured lately, especially after the AL Championship Series against the Tigers 2 years ago when he hurt his ankle. We'll talk about this more at the end of this MLB season, but hats off to Derek Jeter and all that he has done for MLB, and a good luck to him in the future. And they have the Mount Rushmore. Derek Jeter is the Yankees leader in hits, games, and stolen bases. Mount Rushmore, the big topic, nowadays with putting your 4 favorite players and replacing the president's heads, replacing with athletes. And I think for the Yankees, my Mount Rushmore would be the Babe in no particular order. The Babe, the captain, which is Derek Jeter, the Iron Horse, which is Lou Gehrig, and Roger Maris. I picked Maris over Mantle because of his off-the-field personality and the 61 home runs he hit in 1961 to break the Babe's record of 60 home runs in a season. The NFL might be implementing a 10-second rule on the play clock. The play clock right now is 40 seconds. Players, and this is continuous play, so if there's a dead ball and the play clock goes to 25 seconds, so then they can snap the ball right away if they want to. Outside of the 2-minute warning, offenses would have to wait 10 seconds into the play clock before they can snap the ball, allowing for defenses and offenses to substitute. Instead of making the offense wait for defenses to substitute, they changed that rule last year or the year before to where defenses always had the opportunity to substitute if the offense substituted. This would give a chance to the defense to substitute within that 10-second frame. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like the faster pace offense. As a defense, you should be trained and ready for that fast of an offense. If you're not, then you're probably not going to win the game anyway. And to me, it just limits the ability the offense has. 30 seconds to read the defense. They can get up to the ball in 10 seconds right away, but they have to wait. To me, it's just going to be guys standing around, and it's not going to be as smooth a transition as it should be. So I don't like that NFL rule, and I hope they do not implement it.
Games are probably going to be longer too.
A little bit. It won't. I don't think it'll affect the game length too much, but it will. I think it will affect the flow of play, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. So there's the NFL, the 10-second rule, Derek Jeter. Let's get to our questions. So who's our first question from?
The first question was from James. He asked, what is your take on Michael Sam? How will the NFL locker room handle that situation?
Michael Sam, of course, being the first player to be openly gay going into the NFL draft and going into the NFL. I almost guarantee that he is not the first gay NFL player. Just by the numbers, that's dang near impossible for that to be. Coming out of Missouri, he's predicted to be a mid-round draft pick as a defensive lineman. There have been talks back and forth. Taylor from the New York Giants says the NFL is not ready. GMs have said the NFL is not ready, but then NFLPA has said that they are ready. Other players have said that they are ready. To me, I think the NFL is ready. I don't think that this should affect things that much. as long as you do your work on the field, you are playing hard, you are working out hard, you are part of the team. I don't think that the guys are going to care too much about what happens off the field. That's your personal life. That's the way it is with just about any corporation. What you do on the field or in the building or in the office or whatever is your own deal, your own problem. What you do off is your own business. Sorry, I said that wrong. What you do on the field is the team's business and how you organize yourself, and then what you do off the field is your own business. I don't think that this should be a problem. I just don't see why it would be. I see why it would be. With guys showering and the locker room atmosphere, but I just don't think that it would be a big of a deal to make it as big of a deal. I think most NFL teams are ready for this, and I think that it's just not going to be as big of a deal. Fingers crossed. Kind of crossed. I can't really cross my fingers. Fingers crossed when it gets into the NFL locker room that it won't be that big of a deal. I think NFL locker rooms would be ready, and I'm proud of Michael Sam for coming out, and I hope that other players feel comfortable enough to come out and be proud of who they are. I just don't think that what you do off the field should affect what you do on the field that much. What's the next question?
The next question is from Jeff, and he asked, how will the Saints complete this year without Will Smith? I don't know, Will Smith played football. Jabari Greer, Roman Harper, and Jonathan Vilma.
You didn't know Will Smith plays meatball outside of the school and a couple of guys, they were up to no good? That's a little Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for you. Meatball is basketball. Meatball is basketball. Just so you know, in case people are really confused by this. Will Smith, defensive end. Jonathan Vilma, linebacker. Jabari Greer, I'm pretty sure is a safety, and Roman Harper is a safety, or at least a cornerback. I'm pretty sure Jabari Greer is a defensive player, and I'm not 100% sure on that. He's either a defensive back or a wide receiver, and I'm pretty sure he's a defensive back. Losing a lot of their key guys on defense. A lot of those guys were involved. Will Smith and Jonathan Vilma were involved with the bounty scandal. But that's not the reason why they were let go. They were let go because the Saints were projected to be $12 to $15 million over the salary cap. They're still projected to be a little bit over the salary cap. Rob Ryan is losing 4 key players to his defense. They'll need to replace them with cheap guys. I'm not sure how the Saints defense is going to look this year. Then the NFC South with a tough team in the Carolina Panthers, along with the Falcons, who are disappointing, and the Buccaneers, who you have no idea what they're going to be with Lovie Smith. The Saints, I think they'll go 9-7 this year. Their offense is really good, but their defense, I'm just not sure if they can handle, Matt Ryan. I'm not sure if they can handle Cam Newton, and that's only 4 games. They struggle on the road anyway. Defense is a big part of being on the road. Of course, offense is too. It's hard for me to say that just one part is big on being on the road. But I think they will struggle this year. Rob Ryan will have to be creative. He was creative in Dallas when they lost 95% of their team. We'll see how Rob Ryan does, but I don't think the Saints will be able to come back completely. I think this will hurt them more than maybe they expected. I think they go 9-7 this year without that defense. That's my next question.
The next question is from David, and he asked, how will the cutting of Burleson and Delmas affect the Lions?
Nate Burleson and Louis Delmas. Louis Delmas is a safety. Nate Burleson is a wide receiver, both for the Detroit Lions. I don't think that this will affect him that much. Nate Burleson was said that he knew that it was coming. Louis Delmas, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything from him. The projected, guys who weren't that great. Louis Delmas was better than Nate Burleson as far as, it's hard to compare a defensive back with a wide receiver. But he produced more and he was a better on-the-field player than Nate Burleson this year. I don't think it affects them to the level of the Saints does, where they really lose much, because the Lions could go 4-12 or 12-4 at any given time with Calvin Johnson, Reggie Bush, and Matthew Stafford in that offense, and also their defense. So I don't think it affects them that much. It'll affect them a little bit because they lose some veteran leadership in Nate Burleson and a good safety in Louis Delmas. But I don't think it'll affect them that much. I don't know if Nate Burleson will even find a spot anymore. He might be a 4th-string wide receiver or a special team specialist, something like that. Delmas, I'm sure, is going to get picked up by somebody. I just don't think that it affects them that much. I have high hopes for the Lions this year, but with that NFC North, we'll see how they do. So I don't think it'll affect them to the extent of the Saints, but they will feel it a little bit. Last question?
Yep, only 3 of them today.
Thank you, James, Jeff, and David. They emailed me, svsuiowa@gmail.com. You can also ask me questions at SVSU Iowa, or find us on our Facebook page, Sports with Steve. Ask me any question that has to do with sports, and I'll answer it live on the recorded YouTube. It's kind of misleading. I'll answer it on this show.
A live recording of you on YouTube.
Yeah, something like that. So next is Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper is accused and charged with 4 counts of drugging women with Ambien and 2 counts of rape in Los Angeles. He was arraigned in Los Angeles. There's also might be a connection to him raping other women in Arizona and Louisiana and in Nevada. There's not really much to say about this.
That's just slow.
There isn't a speculation because it wasn't like he was accused and then charged. He was charged. That's where the article came out. It just went straight to charged. Apparently, one of the women woke up and found him in the act. Kind of hard to deny that. So Darren Sharper, he can get up to 30 years in prison, which I think it should be more. He was an NFL safety with the Saints. He won the 2009 Super Bowl with the Saints. He was also with the Vikings and the Packers in the NFC North. Then he was an NFL Network analyst. After hearing about this, the NFL Network immediately suspended without pay Darren Sharper, which is the right thing to do. I hope if he's truly guilty, I hope he gets put in prison for a long, long time. I don't have any sympathy for Darren Sharper. The next big report is the Ted Wells report in Miami. Independent report on the Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin situation, the bullying scandal, with Jonathan Martin sending himself to a hospital, leaving the team in the cafeteria because he was bullied by Richie Incognito. Richie Incognito has been a bully for a long time. But John Jeffrey and Marcus Pouncey were also, I think his name is John Jeffrey. It's Jeffrey, but I'm not sure if it's John Jeffrey. John Jerry. It's not John Jeffrey, it's John Jerry. Look at your notes, Steve. John Jerry and, we're just going to go with Jerry. Jerry. Offensive lineman. I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot. Jerry and Marcus Pouncey. I know Marcus Pouncey is the right offensive tackle. Used to be with the Steelers, is now with Dolphins. Pro Bowl tackle Marcus Pouncey not convicted, but found to be a part of this bullying scandal with Richie Incognito as the ringleader. Turner, the offensive coordinator, was found to also be a part of this. An assistant trainer and another offensive lineman were the subjects of the bullying, as well as Jonathan Martin. So here's my take on it. Richie Incognito and anybody found to be guilty of bullying should be kicked out of the NFL. To me, there's just no room for that. Richie Incognito has not shown any guilt or remorse about this, and that's disgusting. Jonathan Martin will go to a team, I'm not sure if it's going to be with the Dolphins, he will go to a team that will accept him, and he will, because he puts in the work. He's a young guy, he wants to play. I believe that an NFL team will accept him and move forward with this. The Dolphins is just a mess right now. They almost made the playoffs. They started off 3-0, 4-0, and they just collapsed within themselves as soon as this came out. I hope that Jonathan Martin is okay. I hope that everybody else who is associated with this is okay. I hope everybody who is perpetrating this bullying scandal is thrown out of the NFL. There's just no room for this. There's just no reason for it. Why are you bullying people? Why are you making people feel this bad? Bullying has been huge for a long, long time, especially in the last 20 years. To me, there's just no reason for it. Do you have any thoughts on this, on the Ted Wells report, Scott?
Just that they're NFL football players. They're adults. They've experienced it mostly, and they've probably seen bullying. Why would you continue that?
It just doesn't make sense, and I just think the Richie Incognito should be kicked out of the NFL, especially him. If no one else, then especially him. He's a bully. Bully is such a hard word to place on somebody. He's a bully. That's just how you define him, which is disappointing for everyone involved. Okay, the last big thing. It's my rant of the day. Jadeveon Clowney this week went on Jim Rome with the following quote. Sorry, Jim Rome was the host of Showtime, not Rome is Burning anymore. Jim Rome, the host of Showtime. They went on Showtime. So Jadeveon Clowney, quote, "If I would have had the chance to take care of my family through college, I would have probably stayed in college," end quote. Instead of him coming out in the draft this year, I'm going to put my notes down because I'm going to get a little heated here. I have a problem with this, and I hope that Jadeveon Clowney is just saying, the reason why I came out of college is because I needed to support my family. Not that college athletes should be paid. I hope that he's not making that argument, but I'm going to relate it to him making that argument. Because this is a big deal right now, and it's made me mad. And 2 weeks ago I had a rant about it, and I'm going to rant about it again. If Jadeveon Clowney were to be saying things like, college players should be paid, then he is wrong on every level. There have been a lot of talk about college athletes who should get paid. There was an analyst on the Big Ten Network that said that Division I schools, if you can't pay the players, you should drop a division. Well, just about every division would have to drop. The amount of money, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, the amount of money that you would need to pay to college athletes would raise tuition for everybody else, would cause programs to be shut down. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are an amateur player, you are in college, you are getting a free, if you're on scholarship, you're getting a free college education to play football and to make millions of dollars in the NFL later. I don't see a reason, to say that you deserve to get paid because you can't support your family. That's what the majority of college students have to deal with. The choice between going to college and losing money right now and getting loans and having to support themselves through college and struggling with their family for a little bit to make more money hopefully later down the road, or to quit high school even, or college, and go work in a factory or a warehouse somewhere to make money to support their family right now. That's what a lot of us have to deal with. Us being, we're college students, both Scott and I are in college. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't make sense. It really gets me mad. It really makes me mad that college athletes think that they are so much better than other scholarships, than other students, that they think that they should, and I understand that the NCAA makes a ton of money off of you. They make a ton of money off the product of what you are, just a cog in the system, whereas the NFL makes money off of you particularly. It just grinds my gears that college athletes think that they deserve to get paid for doing something that they are going to get paid millions of dollars later on the road anyway. Me, I'll use the choice of me because I have obviously the best relationship with myself as far as this.
I hope so.
That was a very obvious statement. I apologize for making that such an obvious statement. I'm going to be in a lot of debt when I'm done with college, and I'm not going to make $1.5 million guarantee like Jadeveon Clowney might. I don't know how much money I'm going to make. I don't even know if I want to get the job in the career field that I want. And yet Jadeveon Clowney is guaranteed probably to go top 5 in this year's NFL draft to get paid millions of dollars for a job that he wants. I have to support myself. My family isn't supporting me. There's no way that they could afford to pay for my college education. There's just no way. I'm getting loans. And I'm trying to stay calm as best as I can without just getting infuriated at the gall and the greed that college athletes have when they say that they deserve to get paid over other students because I just don't understand the logic. And I know that I'm not a college athlete. But if you're a scholarship athlete, you are getting paid. Yes, it's a job. Yes, you need to go, we have Kellen Smith and Lindsey Johnson here talking about, we interviewed them 2 months ago, saying that, the college basketball is their job. They go to practice at 6 o'clock in the morning. They have games during the week. It's a constant work. But yeah, you're getting a free college education out of it. You're getting a college degree, which is something that a lot of us are paying thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially in Division I and Ivy League schools. Hundreds of thousands of dollars to get, and you're getting it for free to play basketball, which you might not even use that degree to start your professional life. You might go to the NBA or to European basketball. It's just the gall and the greed associated with college athletes to say that they deserve to get paid for a college education more than what they already are. And I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to allow Scott to put in his 2 cents. That way I can calm down for a second. What are your thoughts on this, Scott?
You covered everything that I was thinking. It's just greed. I understand that you want money in college so you can buy stuff that you need, but it's just stupid. I have loans out, and right now I'm over $40,000 in debt, and I know that you are really high too because a credit out for me is double for you, and I just think about that, and I'm just like, just be happy. You don't have to pay it back. Just be happy.
You're close. A credit out for you is triple that for me.
Oh, it's triple?
I paid 3 times as much.
Oh, I thought it was double.
No, I paid 3 times as much.
Oh my gosh.
Me being out of state, of course. The noble thought that you want to support your family, I absolutely support that, and I'm not fighting that at all. But to think that you're alone, to think that you as college athletes deserve, the NCAA has pushed that, most college athletes don't even go pro. So to think that you need to get paid for something and then get a degree in something else, that just bothers me. So we're gonna end the show on that note. If you disagree with me, which you probably do, at SVSU Iowa on Twitter, svsuiowa@gmail.com. Sports with Steve on Facebook. Ask me any question. I promise to get you on. Thank you to James, Jeff, and David for asking questions. We really thank you for it, and we thank you for your support. This has been the 10th edition of Sports with Steve. We want to thank everybody. We want to thank Scott Anderson and Mike down in Iowa who pretends to do things. Check out our Facebook page. Mike will be helping to cover the Olympics. So just be ready to watch that. If you're watching on NBC, and this is not a shout out to NBC, but if you're watching on NBC or if you're watching on the ESPN Bottom Line, Mike will also be helping with that. We'll also be hitting you with all news associated with NCAA basketball and any other such news that might come out. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you for 10 episodes. In case you didn't notice, beard's gone. I forgot to make that point. The beard's gone.
The beard of now.
The hair is still here. I'm also gaining some weight around the middle, but that's okay. That had nothing to do with any of what we were talking about. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for everyone watching. And we'll see you guys next week with more coverage.